Dublin Racing Festival. It's a new festival. To people that haven't been and would like to go, just kind of sum it up for me.
Well, I think it's fairly easy to sum up because it's just quality from the very start. 8 grade 1s spread over 2 days, and I went last year and you couldn't help but feel almost how charged the atmosphere was. People were just all delighted to be there, to see so many good horses all in one day. And if you were lucky enough to go for 2 days, I think it's fairly safe to say you had a ball.
And what was your favourite thing about the festival?
I just think the fact that it was quality right from the very start, and it just hit you every single race you were really looking forward to. You hadn't quite digested the one that had just happened before you were hit with another, like a plethora of stars. It really was. They just kept coming.
And you must know Ireland pretty well. Where do you like to stay when you're over there, and where do you like to go out after and things like that?
Well, I think obviously Leopardstown is pretty close to Dublin. Anywhere in Dublin is pretty cool, but normally for me when I'm working I've got to keep a pretty clear head, so I kind of avoid Dublin a little bit. I think if you're looking for night spots though, and you're out on the lash and you want to have fun, Copperface Jack's is a pretty good place. My memories of it are little bit hazy because it was kind of the place you go to after you've been out for dinner and had a few drinks and you fancy having a little bop. Copperface Jack's is pretty good.
Now the thing that we like about the Dublin Racing Festival is it's over a weekend, so it's pretty easy for people over here to make the trip over there for it. What else are they making the trip over for? Why do you think people should go for it?
Well, I just think you should, like you say, the fact that it's a weekend, you don't have to miss any work. You might have to miss Monday morning if you have too heavy a night of it on the Sunday, but I just think getting over there, experiencing that many top class races over 2 days, you know, you're kind of pinching yourself at the end of the trip thinking, how many Cheltenham Festival winners have I seen? Because there was a lot of them ran there last year. You know, it really was. It was wall to wall quality.
And last year, as you say, was the first year, and it really did kick off with a bang, like you say, all the winners that you got to see. Do you have a particular favourite one?
I think the one that I think struck everybody was Ed Wolf winning for JP McManus and Joseph O'Brien. Derek O'Connor, who rode him, he gave him a brilliant ride, and the reception that horse got, because plenty of people would have forgotten, but he nearly died at the Cheltenham Festival, and they spent a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of time at the vets as well, saving him. And for him to come back and to win the Irish Gold Cup was just amazing. Like, and honestly, I've not seen a reception like that for a long time.
It's great. And do you think that with the Dublin Race Festival it will stop the Irish horses coming over for the trials?
I think it will, because, you know, I think there's 1.8 million euro in prize money for those horses to go for, so they can actually race in their own backyard without having to make the arduous trips across the water to run over here. But what I do think it'll do is it will set up the Cheltenham Festival.
Make that competition and rivalry so much more.
It will, because when you don't have the Irish horses taking on the English horses, you don't really have a gauge as to how they're going to compare. So that, I think, builds it up. You see, there's nothing quite like seeing 3 or 4 horses who have been unbeaten in the season clashing on the big day. That's what everybody wants to see. Competition is good for everybody, and I think the better the competition, the better the end result for everybody.
Definitely. Now, another great Irish racing festival we have is the Punchestown Festival, which you're very familiar with yourself. What do you love about that? It's obviously it's not just a weekend. How many days is it?
I think it's 5 days.
Yeah.
And by the last day, you're pretty tired.
It's like a week at Ascot.
Yeah, well, it really is. But the other thing that they do brilliantly over there is they have these later starts. It's almost like twilight racing, where you don't really get going until 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
And for that reason, if you do like to get on the soft a little bit, you've got plenty of time to recover. Or even if you like playing golf, which I do, it's brilliant for me because I can get up in the morning and play golf, do some work, and then go racing. And you know, there's always that time, I think, if racing finishes at 5, you're always wondering, well, I don't really want to go to town now.
You're not ready for dinner yet.
No, you're not.
Not knowing where to go, what to do.
So that's where I think they've got it right there, because you finish at the right time. You finish and it's straight into town.
Yeah.
And get on it, basically.
And then that's great for everyone in town. Where do you recommend heading into town?
Well, the thing is, Punchestown, you know, for people who haven't been before, Punchestown itself is a very, very small place. It's really only the racecourse.
Yeah.
Naas is the nearest big town, and Lawler's in Naas is very good for food, and you can't go wrong if you go there.
Is that where you'd stay as well?
I haven't stayed at Lawler's. I normally, again, I'm working.
I stay well
out of town. You know, anything 20 minutes plus stops me getting tempted. But I have stayed at the K Club. I've stayed at Ratsala. Both of those are pretty good, and they're as good as you'll get.
And again, do you have a favourite memory from the Punchestown Festival?
I think my favourite memory, was winning. I was very lucky, and I rode a lot of Grade 1 winners at Punchestown. Probably my favourite is one of the first Grade 1 winners I rode over there, a horse called Catarino. I won the 4-year-old champion hurdle on him. He was a superstar of a horse, but I struggled in Ireland riding and didn't really get going until I came to the UK. So for me to go back to my homeland and ride big race winners, I was very proud to do that, because my parents came as well, so it always made it better.
And do you prefer watching or riding at the Punchestown Festival?
Or riding.
Riding.
Yeah, there is no substitute for it, because I am green with envy when I watch those lads riding, because I know what they're experiencing, and when they ride one of those big race winners or walk into that winner's enclosure, I know what that feels like, and I miss that.
Can't beat it, can you?
No, you can't.
That's great, thank you.